for me, like you said, I want to get better on the defensive end. That's definitely a focus, and I always want to get better in every aspect of my game. And then being a junior too, I need to become a better leader. Probably be a little bit more vocal, help Braxtin out on the floor this year. So, yeah.
Awesome. I think that's all. So thank you for your time.
Thank you so
much.
much.
On the court. Yeah.
I'm Adam Jardy with the Dispatch. I just wondered if each of you could discuss a little bit what last season as a whole was like. I mean, Coach has talked about how impressed he was with the buy-in and how you guys went through tough times, but the group remained pretty tight, but also had to deal with some tough hardships throughout the season. What will each of you take away from what last year was like?
Yeah, I think with COVID and everything, last year was a really hard year for probably not only us, but every team out there. We definitely, and a lot of us really didn't go home during that time either during the season, so all we really had was each other. So we definitely, did as much as we could with each other, used each other because, like you said, those were some hard times. And it also made the season, a little frustrating because you didn't know if your game was going to get canceled, if it was going to happen, if you would test negative or positive. So last year it was definitely as a whole definitely hard, but I think it even made us come together even more. We became closer, and I think you're going to see that this year. Because, like you mentioned earlier, the chemistry this year is really, really good, and on and off the floor we get along. We just like being around each other.
Yeah, I agree. I think that last year was really hard on us at a lot of different points, as a team and individually, just with, no postseason, just as well as then, COVID, and things like that. And because we weren't able to go home so much, we relied on each other a lot, and it just brought us so close. And I think that, like Jacy said, you're going to see that this year, as well as we will. And, the people that came in got to see how close-knit of a group they were coming into. So I think it was a tough year last year, but we stuck together, and I can only stand true for what we have coming this year and be a testament to how hard it was and that we can stick through anything together this year.
Does that say something for what would go into your decision to come back? Because I feel like it'd be very easy to say, you know what, the heck with that. But
yes. I wouldn't have come back if I didn't like them. So if I wasn't happy with my teammates and stuff, I wouldn't have come back. But I love my teammates. So
and I just mean I'm being a little silly, but the thought that those bonds are stronger than all the hardships that you went through last year, because to go through a year with all the COVID issues and everything that everyone had to deal with, and then also not get to have a postseason, that would, a lot of people might just say, it's time for me to go find, somewhere fresh. But the decision to come back, that must say something about, like you said, the belief in your teammates and the belief in what you can collectively accomplish.
For sure. I wouldn't have come back if I didn't like them, and I felt so confident with how we stuck together last year. I wanted to come back for them and just for another year to try to see what we can do with the postseason. It was so crucial. I just like being around them, so I wanted to come back.
And I heard you talking earlier about some of your high school wins. The fact that you won at such a high level and brought home so much hardware in high school, how much does that drive you at the college level?
It definitely helps. I mean, for me, high school was a long time ago. But
I wasn't going to say that.
Yeah. But it definitely helps. I mean, it taught me to fight, and it at some point, it put me on a big stage for that level, especially just going into all the championships, and we played it at Ohio State, which was crazy too. So just to fight and what it's like to have to play so many games and have to fight every night has definitely helped me in my mentality that it's going to be hard the whole time, but you just have to keep moving. So that definitely helped for sure.
I wonder, being from Dayton, how many people ask you about being named Braxtin Miller?
Yeah.
Do you get that a lot?
Yeah, I get it a lot. He's from Dayton too. Yeah. So I've had it since I was in the 8th grade. I've been, dealing with that. So I'm super used to it at this point.
Has that ever been something where someone is delivering to you and they think they're going to get the other Braxtin?
It's times where I go into the doctor's office for my wrist and stuff, and I had the whole thing, and they thought it was gonna be him. I'm I'm so sorry to disappoint you. It is just me.
Jacy, for you, it seemed like last year you were able to really take a step forward, and people talk a lot about that growth between freshman and sophomore year as being when basketball players can make that biggest leap. You obviously didn't have a normal between freshman and sophomore year, but you still were able to do that. What was the key for you to have the season that you did when you didn't have an off season like you should have had?
Yeah, I think COVID was a big time for me. I was fortunate enough to have a gym to work out during that time.
Okay.
So that's pretty much all me and my brother did during that time. There wasn't much to do, so we would just go in there every day and work on kind of all aspects of our game. So that was huge. And then this coming year, I mentioned earlier we had a lot of girls who got a lot better, and you'll hopefully see that this year. So that's also exciting.
Where was the gym?
The gym, it was in Dublin, so my hometown. And,
Okay.
Yeah, so one of our family friends owned it. So again, we were so fortunate for that. And it was really just me and my brother in there. It was just us two, but it helped us a ton.
I feel like every basketball player has a story about trying to find a gym
Yeah.
when everything was shut down. How tough was it to get that situated? And then maybe Braxton, for you, like did you have a situation like that too? Like did you find somewhere where you could get shots and you could try to get some work in even when everything was shut down?
I definitely looked, but in Dayton, no, I didn't have anyone or know anyone. The only, places I ever really used to go to for gyms was like my high school, which wasn't happening.
Yeah.
And like the Y, which obviously wasn't happening. So
Yeah.
that was definitely a difficult thing for me. But I think it was awesome that other people were able to. I did other things, and when I could find something, for sure, but it was hard for me.
I talked to Andre and Caleb Wesson when they were preparing for whatever might come next, and they called them prison workouts. They said they were just in their apartments doing sit-ups and push-ups and like just whatever they could to get by.
Yeah, I tried to do a lot of things at home, but when it came to finding a gym, I had a very hard time.
When I was talking to Coach a minute ago, I was asking about you, Braxton. He was talking about your basketball IQ and just how impactful that is on the court and all the things that enables you to do. And Jacy, I'm wondering if you could discuss a little bit what it's like for you playing with someone with such a high IQ and how you see her just knowledge of the game help you all on the court when you're there together.
Yeah, we came in the same year, and being a freshman, she helped me a ton. Even her not even knowing our offense really yet, it clicked right away, and she was able to help me and others understand it, and she's still doing that today. So it's a tremendous help. Even during games, she's always talking, always helping everybody out, making sure they're in the right place, holding people accountable. So it's been huge. Like I said, I hope I can help her out this year so she doesn't have to do it all. But no, she's always been that way, and that's a huge part of our team that helps us a ton.
And when your coach was up at the podium earlier today, he was talking about all the opportunities that Columbus presents for name, image, and likeness. I just wonder, I know it's early, but have you been able to explore any sort of options there, or what sort of impact have you maybe seen that start to have on your program or you individually?
So we haven't, as a team, I feel like, done too much with it yet. We've had a lot of meetings, and people are starting to get more into it. I think with me, I just want to make sure I know everything so I don't make mistakes, like in the financial meeting we had yesterday. Like I think I just want to make sure that I'm doing all the right things before I really start getting into it as much as I can. But I know some people on the team are taking advantage of it or starting to look into some things to take advantage of it, which is super exciting. But it hasn't played any big impact on our team so far.
Jacy, any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I would agree. I think we're definitely, the biggest thing is kind of, knowing everything before you just dive into it. And I think we're really starting to learn more about it and kind of how to build, networking options out of that too for the future. I think that's also really important, especially for women's basketball. So, yeah, like maybe next time you talk to us, we'll have more to give you. But we're just kind of getting started with it right now.
And as a whole, what has today been like? Commissioner Warren was up there talking about, inclusivity and putting everybody on an equal platform that everybody has earned. What is it like to have a day like today where everyone is here and equal access for everybody? Like what has today been like for both of you?
I think it's been nice. It's been a hectic day, but it's super nice. I'm so grateful, and I think we both feel honored to be able to be here and experience this, and things be seeming, semi-normal and things like that.
Yeah.
So I think that it's been a great day, and we're just happy that we're able to experience this, and I feel like there's been a really great emphasis and look at making sure that the women's stuff was just as good as the men's, which, I mean, we appreciate more than we could begin to explain. I love that, and I love the inclusivity and the work towards, being better. So I'm super happy, and today's been awesome.
Sorry.
No, I would agree. She hit it on the head.
And he also indirectly referenced like the ridiculous disparity we all saw last year in the NCAA tournament, and with the resources that were provided and things like that. And I know you couldn't take part in the tournament last year, but as you're seeing that unfold, how frustrated, or I don't want to put words in your mouth, but like what was that like to see that and put it, full on display for everybody? Like, look, this is what we're dealing with. This is unacceptable.
I think it was amazing that we got to shed light on that. I think it's something that women in sports have seen for years. I mean, this is my 5th year, and I've seen that. I've been blessed enough to be in situations where it wasn't anything like that, but in other ways, I think that women have seen that so many times, and it hurts. You feel like you're not seen, and you just feel like you're working just as hard for the same things they are, and you're pretty much being told that you're just not. You don't deserve the same things. So it definitely hurt and was sad, and I felt bad for all of the players that were there and had to participate in that. But the media coverage it got, and the work to change things and like that, I thought was stupendous and incredible. And I loved that people didn't stay quiet about it, and it did go so viral and blown up. I thought that was super important, and that even women's head coaches came out and made statements about it, I think was so powerful.
Do either of you follow professional soccer?
You know what? I do actually a little bit. Not a lot, so don't quiz me.
Just like kind of along those lines, there's been a lot of talk about the National Women's Soccer League here in the United States, and just the awful things that have happened there. And as you continue to fight for equality in sports, I just wonder if that's something else that you take note of and say, pay attention to us, like do things the right way. Are those kinds of things on your radar?
For sure. I feel like with our team, anything like pro, women, gender equality in sports, we are so happy and excited to take part and make it be seen and put ourselves on the forefront of saying like, hey, this isn't okay. So that is something that I would totally be like, yes, I'm in complete support of anything for gender equality in sports. Our team is absolutely on board.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.